online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everybody, we are back doing another after show for your favorite show, Reign. This is episode 9, Acts of War, and it was a very heavy episode, I would say, to watch. So we're all a little somber right now because we literally just left the screening room. But hi, I am your host, Keetin Marchi. I missed you all last week, and I'm here with my lovely co-host.
I'm Fahnia Thomas. Thank you. You're such a gentleman. I'm so sorry. It's gonna take a minute for us to get in our jam tonight.
Well said. Yeah, I'm JB Zimmerman. A little shell-shocked. But
yeah. Well,
yeah,
and Phil Svitek is out with the plague tonight, so
yes.
Hopefully he will be back, and I'll be very interested to hear his reactions to tonight's very heavy episode, which, I think we should just get right into it. There was a pretty graphic rape scene, and it was very unexpected.
To Mary, too.
To Mary, to the strongest female character in the show, other than Catherine, I would say. But then it allowed us to see this side of Catherine that, I mean, again, we say every week, any scene that we see Mary and Catherine in together, we just absolutely love. And tonight especially, I started tearing up. Like, it was like that, I think, just shocking, but also they brought it to a level. I feel like I'm like even getting a little, I don't know, I just like with the writing and with the acting, it just felt like it was, I don't want to say relatable, but I understood, I think for the first time, kind of as best I could, what that pain was, and it's heart-wrenching, absolutely heart-wrenching. So amazing job to Adelaide and to Megan for doing that for taking that heavy material and really honoring it and just, woo.
I think the CW handled it very well. I don't think it was that graphic, though. I think it was very mild as a rape scene can be. We didn't see any of like the lower body parts. It was all just mostly upper and facial, which I appreciate that. I still wasn't ready. It was a little heavy for me. I wasn't expecting this from the CW. I was a little like taken aback and gobsmacked. I know that there was some chatter about it a couple episodes back with people speculating what's going to happen and, people talking on Twitter and YouTube. But like you said, I love how Mary and Catherine are bonding over this, and I hope that her intentions are pure and Catherine stays true to like the essence that she brought to the conversation afterwards when she was there for her and had her hand out for her and related to her because she's been through it before. So I really love that. And I think at the end of the day, this is going to make Mary a stronger queen. I think that she's going to take this and just be as powerful as she can be.
Absolutely. I mean, it was hard to watch just because we do kind of attribute her as the strongest character. If not just within the female side of things. It's interesting to see that sort of stripped away in a sense. But I definitely agree. I think she's going to come out stronger. And how it was handled, it was definitely uncomfortable, for sure.
I don't think you should ever do a rape scene in any type of medium and not have it be uncomfortable.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I don't think it went over in terms of being graphic, but it definitely made me feel like as the audience kind of uneasy. I wasn't sure what happened, and so they kind of left it that way, but just the tone that they set was very negative, very jarring.
And the whole episode, there is even a line that Mary says that said, it's too quiet, like something is like off. And I remember we were watching it and I was like, something's about to go down, but like in a joking manner. And then Again, like when you said you were godsmacked, yeah, absolutely. Like I was not. The entire episode kind of was very calm. It was
very tame.
Very tame.
But before that, Francis had said, "Let me look at you." Before he left with Bash, there was a moment, and he said that, I was like, something's gonna happen. When he said, like, he was like, "Stop, let me take a look at you," and there were pause, and they had that moment. In my mind, I was like, something's up. Like, no one says that unless, you know, obviously this is all theatrical, but you don't say that unless, like, there's gonna be a moment where you may not see that person again, or there's an life-altering situation on the heels.
And I thought that was, like, on Francis's part. Like, I think Francis thought he could potentially have been going into his death. Like, if his and Bash's plan did not work to kind of get a hold of these hostages that Narcisse had to blackmail Francis, then, you know, Francis was basically gonna lose as being king and gonna be accused of murdering his father, and Narcisse did have the backing that he needed. But yeah, I thought that was gonna be a Francis thing.
I mean, to me, it just kind of shows globally how fragile, you know, they're just people. Like, yes, they are a king and queen and very powerful in a political sense, but they're human also. You know, I mean, we are very fragile. You know, anything can happen at any time. So it is important to take that extra moment and tell, you know, your wife that you love her, or, you know, just before you go on a trip. Like, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think
Francis
that's a great
himself
point.
could have been killed. Like, there's the assassin that jumped them, you know, near the farmhouse.
That's right. Because they were like kind of they weren't at a great place in the past couple episodes.
Exactly.
So that's true.
Francis wanted to send Mary away, but that's because of him not being honest with her, which at the end of this episode, which is I don't know if it's, I feel like their relationship is going to be even worse now, because
it's going to be forever changed.
Well, and I wonder if he'll ever be honest with her because of how fragile she is now, and how I think Catherine is going to take a very, very protective role of Mary, especially like now that they have like.
I hope so.
I think it's going to be an absolute turn for Catherine, even more so than we've seen in this season, and. I mean, gosh,
which I love, because it's such a 180 from where they were in season one. I love that. I love how it's now polarized.
And I love scenes with them together.
Yeah, because it's two powerful chicks, and we love powerful
They're
girls.
such rock stars.
But can I just say this? None of this would have happened to Mary. Where's the camera? None of this would have happened to Mary if Narcisse would have been killed. This is all his fault.
It's Narcisse's fault. I will blame Narcisse.
This is Narcisse's fault.
It is
At the end of the day,
Narcisse's
it comes
fault.
back to him.
Well, no, I mean, yes, it does. But at the end of the day, it also comes back to Francis just not being honest. Like...
And being a punk and not cutting off his head when he had the chance when they were alone in that room.
Very true.
I would absolutely agree.
Just saying.
Before we move on from like what just that main scene, I loved that speech that Catherine gave Mary about this is going to define you as a queen, how you decide to react to this situation, and whether you want to be seen as a victim or seen as a powerful queen who cannot be touched. And I just thought that was a great message to how people should react and to you know, these serious things that happen to them. I mean, devastating things that might happen to them, and don't let it control you, but take control of it and let it empower you to be a stronger person. And I don't know if you guys follow Reign on Facebook, but Adelaide Kane left has a PSA about tonight's episode, and she kind of directs everybody to go to reign.org, which is kind of ironic that it's the same basically name as the show, but it's RAINN. It's Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. And if there's a hotline on there. Just go. There's so much more information about. If you want to know more about kind of rape victims, or if you have issues, like please go to this website. It is a serious issue, and talk to somebody about it. Don't hold it inside. And yeah,
that's awesome. I'm glad that she did that. That's a great,
it's a great PSA.
No, absolutely check it out.
I mean, on their Facebook and
for sure. I mean, it's obviously a bigger problem for women, but it does happen to guys too. So
does. It absolutely happens to men and women, and in a lot of different ways too. People can be sexually abused or molested. So, yeah.
Also, going back to the show,
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody else
course.
noticed. When Mary and Catherine were walking to the throne, there was a phenomenal song playing that totally resonated with everything that just happened in like the previous 5 minutes. And I was trying to write it down. So if you guys know, let us know. I was like, wow, such a powerful song because it was just them walking, but the lyrics were so profound.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it because literally after that scene, I was so just kind of in shock and kind of just like, yeah, I just didn't really know what was going on and how to react at that point. But I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. But yeah, if you know the name of the song,
let us know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was at the end of the episode.
No, it was right. And when they were walking to the throne, Catherine and Mary,
Okay.
after she had gotten herself together, she changed her clothes and she was going to address court about
course.
your king and queen are still alive. Don't worry. So that wasn't. I don't know. It's more towards
near
the
the
end.
end,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, the reason I would have to say that Francis's life was probably spared was because he wasn't there, because he and Bash we've seen Francis and Bash working together a lot the past few episodes, and I really do like them together. I think they
Team
have great
Royal Bros.
Team
Yes.
Royal Bros. They have great chemistry on screen together, and I'm sure they have so much fun when they get to do all these kind of fun. But I mean, a lot of like intimate scenes between the two, and we see. I really love the scene where Francis was acting crazy for Narcisse, and Bash walks in, and he's just like
wow.
I don't know if I want you to be king anymore.
And I wrote down like that unhinged act. Shout out to Toby. He nailed that. Like awards, applause all around. You did the darn thing in that scene. Like
you were like crazy King Henry.
Right, yeah,
He
I was
went
going to
for
say,
it.
he totally
Shout out our
channeled
favorite
that.
Delph, we miss you.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I all of their scenes together, and so they're, it's been this ongoing thing to be able to take away these men that Narcisse has control over to blackmail Francis, and they ended up being successful tonight. Finally, this has kind of been a long, arching thing, and Francis comes back, excited because he can finally tell Mary the truth, and he gets back actually to discover that he might never be able to tell Mary the truth, because if she knew the main reason that she got raped was because Francis had lied to her and was off trying to cover his own butt, I don't know if a relationship can get past that. Like that's a huge lie, and that's a huge, thing.
That's an interesting angle. I was so caught up on Narcisse, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, that's what
so
it
true.
Yeah, it was so disappointing to see, Francis had come all this way, and finally he was ready, and I think it was, the timing was good in a sense. Like, had that not happened, I think he would have told her. I think he would have come clean, and they would have started to rebuild the relationship. But, it's kind of too little too late, where something else had happened that now he can't really tell her. I mean, if he does, that, for at least the short term, is going to move them, much further apart.
Yeah, I think a lot of healing needs to be done for Mary personally before.
Right,
I
before
mean,
she's ready
yeah.
to hear that. I mean, she would have been. But after, something as devastating as this.
This just kind of exacerbates the whole dynamic between them right now.
Right.
That it's maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll
I mean,
save that
now
for
it's
predictions.
Rain
Worst
Writers, gosh,
time.
this was a great
damn good.
episode. Shout out
Oh.
to the Rain Writers.
And shout out to Bash again, because he came in and does what needs to be done.
That is spot on. He took care of business tenfold.
I love
Taking
it.
care of biz. We
we-
should next time Torrance is in studio, we should just play "Taking Care of Business" to intro the episode, because that's what Bash does.
No, totally. He was just like,
He does.
he knows. Done.
He handled Montgomery.
it was
We
awesome.
found there was lots of like, well, what people were talking on YouTube, leaving comments like, what about Father Michael? What about Montgomery? They were found. Bash came in, handled the
Bashed 'em.
scandal like he always does. So I was just like, oh, he'll
So
do
great.
it.
Right. No, it's great to see them actually do take those steps where it's like, these small things might be bad in this sense, like we're killing a guy, but at the same time, it is better for the greater good. Like, we need to step up and really handle these tough issues.
Which is interesting because Francis still seems to be hung up on killing people and having people die. But as a king, that's just kind of par for the course.
I think, well, Catherine kind of has been saying this since last season, that you guys, you gotta get used to it.
you do. You have to man up.
Almost lost it.
Yeah, no, I just caught that pen. spidey senses. Yeah, that's kind of what you have to do as a royal to protect yourself and to protect your family and to protect your country, which is number one. Which, Mary, on the other hand, is trying her own ways to protect the country, and she comes up with this idea of, hey, let's show the Protestants that we see you as equals. We don't want to fight with you. Let's have one of our higher ranking Protestants, aka Conde, Louis, and a higher ranking Catholic, aka Princess Claude. Let's get them to get married and have a interfaith marriage, and I think it would be a huge statement, but not too big to really piss people off.
Right. It was a perfect sort of diplomatic solution to everything that's been going on. Which was great. I mean, I was just like, yes.
And I think they're so great together. I love. They're both these kind of hotheads, a little bit. Both Claude and Conde, and they both they're rule breakers. And I love that scene. I've said I love that scene about like 10 times already tonight. But just of those two together, kind of almost making a contract of their own of how their marriage would be if they were to consider getting married. And they're both just so flirty and just very, very attractive people, and have so much sexual tension, I feel like, between them. I'm excited for it. I think it's a good match.
I think so too. I was very impressed with Claude this episode. I like her now. I mean, which is saying a lot. I mean,
you've always liked Claude.
Well, no, I mean, before she was sort of a character that was fun to make fun of. She was so out there, so promiscuous, so sort of ditzy. Now it was great to see anyone get the upper hand on Nares. I mean, that was awesome. She totally played him. And just made him look foolish. It was great.
Was his hand positioned somewhere that was supposed to be questionable when they were having a conversation? Okay,
so. He was trying to convince
I read that
her,
right. Okay,
to accept his proposal right there because he could
via
offer
stimulation
her things that he knew she likes. So yeah.
Okay, I thought,
and we all know Narcissus is the man with the butterfly little birthmark, and there have been journal entries written about him, so
books, novels.
I think it was a great play by Mary suggesting this. I hate to see it because I think that Conde is so dreamy, and I think it's taking a step down.
He looked so good. I don't know if they changed his hair. He had a little more scruff, but man, Conde.
When he was standing next to, he was walking with Mary, he just seemed so tall, dark, and handsome. All capital, tall tonight next to Mary. He looked so good.
He was taller than usual? Really?
Yes, he just seemed to be towering over her.
There was something different with him, and he just looked good.
And then when when Conde was like, "Don't arrange my marriage with him, please." Like, I'll take him any day. He is so fine.
Speaking of the costumes, which we always kind of, or how they look in the costumes and stuff. I mean, again, the costumes were stunning this episode. I felt like Mary was very covered up this entire episode. Even before kind of that scene at the end.
Before she was trying to hide her neck.
Yeah, but she looked very matronly in that white dress. I mean, it was stunning. But I wonder if it's because they're shooting these scenes outdoors and it's cold, or I don't know. But I want to know the story reasons for that, because usually she's a lot more. You just see her arms and stuff, and
I wasn't too fond of that white ensemble. I didn't write it down. However, I did love the floral crown that she had on in the opening, and she had on this black necklace with this black.
That was gorgeous.
Ball gown, whatever that thing was. That was stunning, and actually
for the Feast of St. Nicholas,
Claude looked really good in her little shawl with the sheer and the jewels when she announced their engagement.
Do you know what I want? I want if I could have any of their wardrobes. This is fun. Let us know on YouTube. Tweet at us whose wardrobe you'd want. I would want Greer's. I'm obsessed with every single dress they put her in. I think she always looks so classy and I want every single dress. I love it. I'm obsessed.
Whose are you obsessed with?
Who would you want to get dressed as? Would you want the Francis, the Bash, the Conde, the Narcisse?
Oh, I was thinking more about the girls. What girl ensembles do you think are striking to you? Do you notice?
I notice Claude's. or
Okay.
He wants to be tall, dark, and handsome.
A shame that there wasn't more Kenna in this episode.
You
Would have
and
appreciated
Phil with
that.
Kenna.
Where was Kenna?
I know Greer definitely looked beautiful in this episode too. I will give you that.
I just want her more.
As she does.
And I mean, yeah, she looks. All those girls look stunning. I like that we saw more of them interacting like as friends.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't seen the main core group in a while. Like
together. Yeah. What about you, Fahnia? Whose wardrobe?
I don't
would you
know.
want?
It'd be an eclectic piece of all of them. I'm a Gemini, so I change from morning to afternoon till night. So I'd want a little piece of them all.
She's mood swings.
Sure.
Yes.
multiple personalities.
Like triple, sometimes
Oh,
quadruple, depending on
Hey.
retro moon rising. No, I don't know anything about that kind of stuff. But
So, well, the marriage announcement, Francis, even though at first he says he doesn't want this marriage, he doesn't agree with it, that the nobles will never go for it, he eventually kind of caves because he and Bash feel like they have the upper hand, so he says Mary will go ahead and do it. Mary announces their engagement, but now that they know it was a group of Protestant assassins, that might put a big damper on that engagement now, because they might not be able to kind of make these public displays of just acceptance of the Protestants now, because just the Protestants attack them. Just how everybody else sees it. Unfortunately, it sucks that happened when it did, but again.
yeah, I was surprised that Catherine went straight to saying no and didn't try to manipulate the situation and say, sure, I'll get along as long as they leave court. I thought she would have a play, because she normally does, because she's crafty. So I was surprised to hear that she was just completely against it, because I thought it was a great idea.
How about that entrance she had?
That was
Boom!
amazing.
She
As
walks
only
in
Catherine.
like Glenn Close's Cruella de Vil. I that's a very weird reference, but in the 101 Dalmatians, Glenn Close walks in and she's like, boom, I'm here. And Catherine kind of has that same, it's intimidating, but you're kind of attracted to her, and you're like, oh, who is she? And interested, but then you're scared too. So it's, I don't know.
Her timing is perfect always, and she just has such a gravitas that when she does say something negative, it's sort of in a positive tone, because it makes her happy, that it's tough to be
so
completely mad at her.
Yeah.
Or, it doesn't make her that much of a villain, because it's like, oh, we still love you because you're hilarious.
Well, she owns it, and
She
she
does.
doesn't sway from who she is and her personality, and she's direct. She's kind of no holds bar, and this is what it is, and
She's a straight shooter. Can't fault
exactly,
her for
no
that.
chaser.
Love it. So we talked a little bit about how Narcisse kind of proposed to Claude as well, trying to keep her from marrying a Protestant, and kind of telling her, hey, you're going to get assassinated, and threatening her with all these things, and I want to protect you, and I know you need me, whatever. Claude, once she talks to her big brother, who was so sweet to her in that scene. Again, we've never really seen those two interact very much, except when Claude first got there and was like, hi, Francis, and then she's flirting with Bash, and you're like, oh, what happened there? They're kind of brother and sister. That's weird. But that was such a nice big brother talk. I wish my big brother has told me he's proud of me before, but never that, this is your moment type of. It was so sweet and endearing, and I really liked it.
Nice little family moment.
It was great, and it really made Claude feel good. I think Claude would have continued to kind of defy them and say, I know I don't want to do this, unless kind of Francis had that come to Jesus moment, and hey, this is your time to not. It wasn't he wasn't saying you owe the family this, but he was saying this is your time just to show the family how much you're such a value to us, and do something about it, you're Princess Claude, you're the Princess of France, show everybody that you respect that honor and you take control of it. So
right, he really handled it in a genuine way that I think empowered her to make the right choice. I mean, he basically said, I want to trust you with this responsibility. I think this is what you want. You have you've got a choice. Do you want this, or do you want to be an enemy of the family? I think he really gave her the keys, I guess,
Well, essentially, it was in his best interest to sell it, to
right.
upsell
I
it.
mean, yeah, he did
'Cause
an
at the end of the
impeccable
day, there
Nailed
was
it. Obviously
reasons
convinced
behind it. So I don't know how genuine it was.
I'm just
but-
saying,
I think it
the way he
was.
came to kind of explain it, it wasn't like a parent being like, you have to do this.
Right.
It was from that older brother being like, you know
Which
what,
is smart.
this is why this would be a good decision.
Yeah.
Right. Which is smart, because usually when your parents tell you this is how you have to do it, you rebel and do the opposite.
Nope,
so
yeah.
well played.
Well played, Francis. So after, you know, they figure out this Conde and Claude thing, Narcisse is all, you know, hurt because he got rejected again. And we see goes back to Miss Lola at the end of this
Back to
episode.
Lola.
And it almost makes me feel like, does he have true feelings for her? I can't get a read on him. I can't figure it out. And I sympathize for Lola because she can't either. I think she's so conflicted. But I don't know.
I hope he's dead by 2015.
Yeah, great acting, because it is
he
tough
is
to tell.
over Narcisse.
You know, depending on where they put that scene, you know, I would have at least believed he was legit, but because it was obviously after he just wanted to elope with Claude, you know, I put the guards up. I'm not ready. I'm never really ready to trust Narcisse, because he should be dead.
He should be dead.
But
we
you know, I think he was
we
selling
love to
it.
hate him. He's great.
He is. Oh, and
and
okay,
he's very sexy.
He is, and I'm going to switch it up. I want him to die so he can come on our show and talk with us. How's that? Him, the actor, I love him. The
He is
character,
great.
not so much.
Are you based in LA?
Please come.
Please come. We love you. We would love
That
to have
sounded
Narcisse
really
in the
bad.
studio. We're gonna keep moving on. So at the end of this episode, I mean, everything again, the calm of the storm erupted, and at the end, everything that we thought they had basically fixed is now kind of being thrown back into all of their faces.
Right.
Mary and Francis's relationship, the relationship between the Catholics and the Protestants in France, Claude being married, and I mean, everything's just like up in flames, and it's all because, and even Castleroy and Greer, who, whoa, shocker, Castleroy, trying to be a good Protestant, trying to be a loyal noble of France, thought he was donating money to a school, which Greer obviously supporting her husband, which they are so cute together.
They are so adorable.
I do miss Jonathan Keltz, where are you? Where is Lath? I miss him. I miss him. I want him back.
Come on the show.
Yeah, well, he said
They all said. They all were like, we'll come if we're in town.
If they're in town, they come back in town. Come out of Canada. It's too cold up there. It's like really nice down here right now.
It was a
Come
great
to the
day today.
States.
Anyways, so Castleroy, they find out at the end that he's actually been all the money he's been donating to this school has actually been going to...
He basically funded the assassin.
Yeah, which...
Unwittingly.
Unwillingly, but if they get brought to trial, that's going to look... I don't know if that's going to stand.
There's
that
a
he
bit of
didn't
a
know.
paper trail.
And, you know, it's a bit of a paper trail. And Greer was just thinking about converting.
Yeah.
Because she wanted it. She thought it'd be better for their family. And now, I mean, if Castleroy gets, I mean, I wonder if that's how Lath is going to come back in. I wonder if
Is that your
Castleroy-
prediction?
That is my prediction. I just
Whoa.
walked into it. I'm just going to keep going. I'll just say it. It's fine. I think that Castleroy will be put on trial and will unfortunately lose, which will be really sad. So he'll get beheaded, but then Greer will still have his name and like his whole fortune and be taking care of his kids. So she'll be a widow, and Lath will come in and save the day and help give her a new name that is better, and we'll have
That's
Greer
funny.
and Lath together.
Still pulling for Lath
I
and Greer.
had the same prediction, but I took it 2 steps further.
Oh,
Oh,
Lord.
whoa.
All the
is she pregnant?
Protestants. No. All the Protestants out. That
Out
means
as
that
in,
means
like,
your homegirl
exiled or
too. Dead.
killed?
She's gonna die
OG.
too.
No, they would not kill Greer.
Oh.
I think just because of what happened to Mary and the intensity, and she's taken no prisoner. She's not going to be anybody's bitch. Off with the Protestant's head. Unfortunately, because they unknowingly funded the people that went into her bedroom. She's got to go.
Man,
they
that's
will not
crazy.
kill Greer.
That's heavy
I don't
stuff.
want them
That
to.
is,
That's heavy stuff.
we tried to get out of the heavy
I
stuff.
don't want
Fahnia,
them
and you just
to,
had to throw that in there right
But
now.
that was what I wrote that down like Francis, Protestants die equals Castleroy
Man,
and Greer are
that's-
in jeopedy.
Well, can we pause before we do any more predictions? Because
Sure.
we got to do some Castle Corner.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to do Castle Corner.
Go for
We
it.
don't have to do Castle Corner. Phil would be very angry at
He
us.
would.
Well, let's finish
Do no-
predictions, then do
Okay,
Castle,
okay,
'cause
we'll
it's
finish
not like-
predictions and finish do Castle
Yeah, you
Corner. I don't
guys-
know, just trying to like go, in
And
order
now,
how I have it written
your
on the board.
AFTERBUZZ
You mix things up.
Off the cuff.
Yeah, you guys went very global with it. I'm gonna.
Going global.
I don't think it's gonna be mass genocide as much of the Protestants, but I do think there might be a pregnancy scare from this rape incident.
I put that too.
Right after we see Mary sort of shaken up, it cuts right to Lola and the baby. I mean, I think that was on purpose, just to sort of.
I
get
mean, I
that-
don't like that, but I think
Yeah, I really
that
do.
is.
That's the last thing I want.
Because
for sure,
here's what I
that's just,
thought.
like, could ruin everything.
I agree with your prediction because I thought that Catherine would have came in with her potions to terminate anything that could be a possibility
Right.
to essentially like really clean it up because she was there to get her dressed and to help her stand up. And
But we
so I
didn't
thought
see
that,
all of that.
I
So
think
who
we
that's
knows
why
that
I'm
that-
saying,
that.
since we didn't see it, that there could be the rapist baby that she's pregnant with.
But then, like, is it
No
like, do
good.
they want to try to let her just carry it to term because she doesn't? I mean, I don't know. And maybe they think it's Francis.
Because Catherine has the potion.
I
She's
know,
got a
Catherine
little,
She's got potions
a little
for days.
elixir that
Potions
she
for
could have,
days.
handed to her.
Makes me miss Nostradamus.
I know.
Was that your-
Is he
did you
is he
coming
coming
back?
Well, my other, what else did I have? Oh, my other prediction was Francis is going to pull away because of the rape. There's going to be,
Because he's going to
More
just
of a
feel so
rift
guilty.
between them?
yeah, I feel like there's this thing about men, and correct me if I'm wrong, since I'm not a
I
male.
will.
It's kind of like, I mean, for lack of better words, that's his lady. Essentially, like, she has been defiled. And so I feel like it's gonna pull him apart. I don't know what's gonna happen, if it's
disagree
gonna
with
be
you.
good or bad, or he's just going to go on this rampage because, like he said, you are my wife. Like his hydrant has. I don't want to say that. Oh.
I disagree. No,
enough.
I
Go for
disagree
it.
with you because I think this entire kind of this season, it's been Francis pulling away from Mary and Mary constantly being like, Francis, I'm here for you. Let me help you. Let me be your queen. And I think the tables are going to turn now. And Francis, because he's going to be riddled with guilt he's going to feel like it's his fault. He's going to blame himself for what happened to Mary. But Mary is going to be the one that's going to be pushing him away and pulling away from him. It's going to be like the opposite. It's going to be like, Francis, there's a little taste of your own medicine. That's what I think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be Francis. I don't think Francis will care. Francis loves Mary too much.
What do you think about the male perspective that I was speaking
Male
to?
perspective here. I agree and disagree. I definitely, as a guy,
Smart
definitely
man.
feel the my woman, for lack of
Sure,
a
yeah,
better
yeah.
term, where
No judgment here.
like
people.
if
My
there
woman.
was
Yeah.
in a relationship some
Yeah.
type of affair, I would feel absolutely betrayed and want to walk the opposite way,
Right.
for sure, like immediately. But I think that's also a choice thing. It's more of that betrayal of the trust that's that relationship. In this case, where it's more of a crime, like a very violent attack.
Yeah.
She's very much the victim. I would definitely want to protect her and feel like if there's any way I could help. It's there's also some defiling thing, but it's not like that she had her virtue.
Oh, right,
everyone
right.
does have a pass, so I think that Francis would be able to get over it, faster than Mary would. I think Mary is going to be more reserved and guarded,
Right.
and Francis is going to be the one to sort of close that gap.
Because she did say, like, don't touch me, which is obvious. Like,
Right.
I have yet to be put in such a situation, so I don't know. But from what I've seen, you are more like, you just need your space and your time, in which she, expressed very well to Catherine and to Francis.
Do you think Claude and Condé will get married?
I think so. I think it's going to be put on, like, they're going to pump the brakes a little bit because of this whole
I think
Protestant
Mary's going to
assassin
push for
thing.
it. I think
Really?
Mary's going to be like, they need to still do it. Like because Mary wants she wants this faith war, this religious kind of war that's starting religious civil war that's starting to bubble up in France. She wants it to stop,
Right.
And I think it's a stronger statement. And Mary is such a strong woman that even though she was raped by these Protestant men, I don't think she's going to blame the Protestant religion. I think that's going to be a huge statement coming from the Queen, being like, I still want this marriage to happen. But I think she's going to obviously have a lot more people who are going to fight her on it.
That'll be very noble of her.
Well, I mean,
it's that route.
It's definitely the greater good. I mean, if she doesn't do that, then there's all-out war. So, I mean, that would be very bad. Very bad.
Can I share something that happened to me over Thanksgiving that has to do with Reign? I wanted to tweet about it, but I was like, no, I'll just wait. I don't ever remember my dreams. Ever. And I had the most vivid dream that I freaking went to the set of Reign.
Real quick,
and got to be,
I
had
love
a dream.
how you wrote,
I had a dream. And so this is my prediction, because
Dr.
I had a
King,
dream about
Keetin,
it, that
please.
we will get to go to the set of Reign or something.
Yes.
You know, remember, I've been saying,
I like that.
hashtag get Keetin on Reign. If we were allowed to go, I would buy a ticket tonight. But
nice.
I had this dream, and it was so much fun, and everybody was so nice. So I assume that's just what it's like. And
Very
I
cool.
would.
You
I
just
would
had
really,
a premonition? Did we
I
go?
had a premonition. I mean, you guys weren't there, but that's
Oh,
okay. We
all
can
right.
change it.
I mean, says a lot about you.
Well, I can't control my dreams. I barely remember them. But all I have to say is, let's make this happen. Hashtag get Keetin on Reign. Hashtag get the AfterBuzz crew
there we go.
on Reign, or just to visit the set, because it'd be really, really cool and really, really fun, because we love it so much. Is there any other predictions, you guys?
I'm tapped out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty good.
Do we need?
Feeling good about it.
I mean, I do have a Castle's Corner prepared, but do people hate on Castle's
Ooh,
Corner?
actually, I do have one more prediction.
Okay.
I think Narcisse is behind the Protestant attacks. I think he's orchestrating, like he's got spies over there, and he's like making plays.
This is why I
All
love
the more
having a male
reason.
perspective.
Off with his head.
Yeah, he's got to go like fast.
By
I
2015.
hope Team Royal Bro is just like
Team
kill
Royal
him
Bros
somehow.
got to handle
Just,
it.
like,
They will.
shank
They will.
Going back to Castle Corner,
Castle Corner. How do we feel about
they
Castle
say they
Corner?
love it.
Do you guys love Castle
You
Corner?
don't
Okay.
say. Phil says, but maybe that's just because he does it. I don't know. There's been a couple of comments on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, the shout outs really quick. Faith Johnson would like us to stop calling Francis's son his heir. The baby is illegitimate. Francis may have claimed him, but the baby will never be king. Francis has two younger brothers, Charles and Henry. So they would obviously potentially be next in line.
We can
so I
first
get it.
name him. It's Rob.
Sure, first name is S. No, I don't know. But you will keep it in
I
mind.
love how she spelled
right,
out
yeah.
B-I-T-C-H, but then she said first name is ass.
It's getting later in the evening. And then shout out to, forgive me if I mispronounce her name, Janice P. She loves our Reign show and she works overnight, so she listens to us several hours and other AfterBuzz shows while she's at her desk. So hope you're awake. Hope you've had fun.
Yeah.
Comment. Let us know how you felt about this show, because it was a little heavy. Hope you didn't have to go to work right after. And then she also says, I think Nostradamus will be back to warn Mary and Francis and Catherine that as long as Clarissa is still alive, Francis is in danger. I feel like he
That's gonna
feels
come back. That's a good.
a debt
that's
to
a
Mary
solid-
and Francis for saving his life.
That's a good point.
So
Good
thanks
point.
for
I
that,
like
Miss
it.
P.
And I don't know if our T-shirts have gotten here yet, but they've been
that's
sent.
right.
Yes.
They've been sent,
Samantha,
so we're very excited.
Thank you again.
As
That
soon
is
as
the
we have
coolest thing.
them, if they might be here, but Phil is sick, so he has control of those. So, if they're here, we will wear them as soon as we can.
Yeah,
But
Yes.
thank you. I am so excited. I
know,
cannot
that's so
wait.
dope.
I'm
Like-
just
Yeah.
gonna wear it all the time.
So make sure you guys comment, tweet us, like us.
Yeah.
Especially with this episode, it was heavy, and we would all love to hear how you guys felt about this show. I think it's the heaviest episode.
Absolutely.
thus far
I agree
for
with
Reign.
that, for sure.
I was telling Marissa's our engineer over here, and she does a lot of AfterBuzz shows, but I think this is one of the heaviest shows I've ever had to do an after show for. Just because I do a lot of like more lighter shows, so.
Do you want to do a quick little castle?
Should we lighten it up? End
Let's
it on
do
the
it,
light
yeah.
note
Yeah.
with some Castle
Good call.
Corner. And
some
tonight
castles.
we're gonna do a castle that I've been to, and it's a beautiful castle on beautiful grounds. If you get the chance to go, you should go. It's called Blarney Castle, and I'm sure many of you have heard about this because you can kiss the Blarney Stone, which I've kissed it twice. It is the most terrifying thing. Because not only are people telling you that all the locals pee on it, so you're just kissing pee.
I was just gonna say, do they clean it?
Can I tell you? You get very mixed signals because some people are like, it's for good luck. It actually means
when
if
you kiss
it, you get persuasive eloquence. That's what talk that aims to charm, pleasant, flat. You're supposed to be able to talk.
Eloquence.
That's what you're supposed to get when you kiss the stone.
Yeah, because you get a disease on your lips and you start talking funny.
It's a rock.
But can I tell you, so when you go there, it's in this beautiful grounds. It's this really, really old, decrepit castle. You have to, like, kind of climb up. There's, like, no roof really on it and stuff, and it's all falling apart. And there's, like, little old Irishmen sitting up on, like, a stool right next to the stone, and you're like, you think the stone is, like, right there for you to kiss, and then he's like, no, it's, like, over there. And you're like, wait, what? And so what you have to do to kiss the stone, you have to lay on your back. This old man, who I probably weighed more than, has to grab, oh, thank you. Yes, this is what you have to do. Okay, and these bars I could fit, like, people can fit through these bars. It looks a lot smaller on this, but...
Okay, that yellow stuff looks like urine. I'm just saying. Like,
it's
for
probably
real.
moss, but this little man is like, he's holding you, and you have to bend over backwards and kiss. That's where the stone is.
For you guys that are listening to us, if you just want to Google...
Because that's where the stone is, because it's down, you have to, like, go, it's like...
You have to curve. You have to lay on your back and bend over. So those of you guys that are listening to us, if you just want to Google BLARNEY -stone, STONE, so you can get this lovely visual.
And it's so high up, it's terrifying.
How high up is it?
Do you see that picture? Do you see how little these people are with the umbrella?
At least they have, like, safety bars. I mean,
but I'm telling you, if you fell, you're done. Like, there's no way. Like, you're done.
Do you pay to do that?
Yeah, that grassy knoll, I don't know.
Or is it free of charge?
I think you pay to get on the grounds, and these beautiful historic, like, castles and grounds in the Irish countryside. It's in the County Cork, which is a beautiful part of Ireland. I road tripped Ireland one time, and it was really, really fun. But Blarney, if you go to Ireland, if you don't go to Blarney Castle and Blarney Stone, you will miss out. It's beautiful. I'm obsessed with it. But, you know, I could give you more info, but I think, it's kind of the Witch's Kitchen, Wishing Steps, Blarney Castle. Let's do here. We'll do 7 interesting facts about the Blarney Stone. Here, we're just going to go through this real quick. Do you want me to go? I will tweet a link to 7 interesting facts about the Blarney Stone and save everybody some time because we are all tired and we all want to go to bed. And this was a heavy episode.
I will say, since you've kissed it twice, did it work? You obviously went back for more.
I mean, obviously my speech is so eloquent.
It was. It's pretty good.
All the time. All day, every day.
Well, you gotta get back there. You just gotta get back there.
I don't know if it wears off.
It could.
I kissed it twice because my grandmother was supposed to come on the trip with us, and she passed away right before we left. So I got to kiss it once for her. But go do it. It's really cool.
Nice.
And people in Ireland are just so nice. They're so friendly. But yeah. That's about it, you guys. Where can we find you until next week?
Well, you guys can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fahnia Thomas, Fahnia Thomas. Woo!
Nice. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JB_Zimmerman.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Keetin Marchi. That's KeetinMarchi. Thanks so much for watching.
Guys. See you later. Oh. It's heavy.
It's heavy. It's real heavy.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.